I hope it is let the glue up begin and hopefully not let the mayhem begin. But I just went ahead and got this thing because I think it's so much easier than the stuff I've seen other people using, and even easier than the little tray thing that I have, which I have used once, and it's good, but I really like this idea of a self-feeding roller, and let's see how that goes. I'm gonna have to do a little sorting to pick out the best boards, and I just double checked the planer. If I want to run these through, these are going to be the long, narrow ones. If I'm going to run them through on the planer once they're together, which I'd like to do, then 10 inches about the max that I can do to run it through. So I'm going to do at least probably two 10-inch sets and have something in the middle that's a divider. This is the part of the process where I've seen very, very interesting, very complex designs done with these glue ups. I'm not at that stage yet. This is just me sorting colors a little bit to try and get some basic pattern. The first one I'm working on right now, there was no real pattern there, but much. I was just checking to make sure that was 10 inches or less, so that is going to go through the planer all right. Now this one I tried to do a little more involved color scheme, but still nothing super fancy, just just trying to see how it would turn out. And it'll be interesting to see when it's either board buttered or stained up or whatever, sealed up, if some of the more color comes out a little bit more. Okay, so my idea at first was I was going to do these both at the same time. What's going to happen here is it's going to become obvious that I cannot possibly get the glue on fast enough to still keep the binding effect. So I ended up just doing this first set, and the roller is really good. Really glad I got this. It didn't quite do what I hoped it would do, in the sense that I wanted to do 2 boards at a time because of the width of the roller, but they were just uneven enough in width laying down flat that it didn't quite work that way. So anyway, another good learning experience. Most of this is hardwood. I pulled out some that I think was like a softer wood, like a pine or poplar or something, so that if I wanted to do some kind of cutting board or tabletop or something, that it would be nice and hard. Now the clamps here ended up kind of getting in the way, and I had to move everything around, but the basic idea is that these clamps worked. I'll be able to show in the coming weeks how these things came together, and notice that there's a silicone sheet there. That's something I didn't have on at first, and I'm really glad I pulled that out, because glue is going to drip off the wood and stuff, and the silicone, once it dries, the glue just basically pops off. You can just almost like flip it like a towel, and the stuff just comes right off. So that's going to keep the surface of the wood for the worktop. That's going to keep that a little nicer as we go along. So anyway, take a look at the rest of what we got, but the glue up process was working just fine, and it was a lot of fun, actually. This roller is great. I've got to be faster with it. This stuff was already trying to set up before I actually got them clamped together, and that's why I didn't do both at the same time, both sets, because the glue's going to start getting hardening up. So all right, there's one. Let's see if I can do another, and I'm going to grab some more clamps while I'm at it. I'm going to need some more clamps. That's kind of cool to be able to say that. I am very, very interested to see if these are going to work. To see if the friction hold will take on this. These like galvanized steel pipes, sometimes I can find them salvage, but if you buy them new, I mean, it's like 50 or 60 bucks for 5 or 6 of them. Like, you know, 10 bucks a piece for 3 foot or 4 foot. Woo. Habitat Restore. These are not galvanized pipes. They're actually extension sections for an overhead fan, the best I could tell. And $2 each. So the only question is, will the spring load friction catch work on this, or will it just slip? And if it just slips, then there's a way I can work that out too. But man, if it works like they're supposed to, that is really great. And I bought 2 more. I've got 2 of them to try it out, and then they had 2 more, so I got those yesterday. And I'm going to, if these work, then I'm going to go ahead and buy some more Bessie clamps to put on them. We'll wait and see here. Here is another learning experience. This is one of the first attempts I did. This has probably been sitting in my bedroom for over a year. And there's some things that are really cool about it. Like there's some that almost look like they're book matched. It's fairly smooth. I mean, it's close to being as level as I probably could get it. Now the question is, which side do I really like? And I think it might be the other one, but the glue up has lasted all this time. So the idea here is I'm going to try, as a test for this other stuff that I'm doing, going to try now to run it through the planer and try to get it leveled out completely. We'll see how that goes. Man, it is heavy. The other thing about this is I didn't make quite enough of them. It's a little bit, it's not wide enough to work for a tabletop that I had in mind. It's almost wide enough to could be like a hall table or entryway table, but I don't have anything that would fit on it, that it would fit on for that. So, not sure yet. The other thing I decided was it's too thick. Now, it's massive, and that's kind of cool, but it's really thicker than it needs to be, and that's why these other ones may be a little more narrow than they should be. But I decided to clean what I could off a pallet board and then cut it down the middle to get more wood out of it. So yeah, the idea will be to take these 2 10-inch sections that I want to get so I can run them through the planer and then potentially glue them together for basically a 20-inch by 40-some inch, probably 20 by 40 tabletop. And let's see how that goes. The other possibility here is to get these nice and cleaned up and then section them for a for at least one end grain board glue up. And this is all heavy oak from my recollection, and that end grain board could look really cool. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing with this. For now, I'm going to run it through the planer, and I will not make anybody but me listen to it, and I am going to find my ear protection first. Hopefully I learned my hard lesson, and man, am I feel blessed and genuinely grateful that I can still hear, because that was dumb that I did that last time. Well, it's been a while now, but that was really dumb. And thank you, Lord, for mercy on small children. From what I understand, small children, drunks, and in my case, idiots. Thank you, Lord. Hooray for more clamps! And yes, the $2 pipes work fantastically. That's really great. Okay, so both of the sets are now glued up. They've been, the first one's been going on an hour, and supposedly an hour or 2, usually 30 minutes you can do something, but I wouldn't run it through the planer in 30 minutes. It's more like, okay, we're going to give it maybe overnight even, but wow, check this out. Even with the earmuffs, the planer was loud. Am I shouting? I can't tell. These turned out really, really great so far. Now, they're a long way from actually smooth because there's a couple chips in the blades on the planer, but man, it did get it down to a single surface, Now, with very few exceptions, there's a little bit of it down here, but this is actually the bottom. And so I'm gonna sand a little bit on this, and then get ready to see if I can mark off dimensions to cut it for doing an end grain board. But yeah, these boards turned out really, really well. Okay, sanding, you don't want to watch that, I'm sure. It's been through the planer several times, and now I've sanded it several times, and that is pretty doggone flat. Yeah, okay. We're trusting the process, and this is part of the process. So we are sticking it up, and next we're going to chop it up. Yeah, let's try that too. And I still have to do this one too. Let's get it out of the clamps. And next time you see this, probably it'll be sanded. I don't think it'll go through the planer, it's too wide. But maybe squared up also. I'm going to try to do that as well. Well, that is just about the most that I've gotten done in a day in a long time. And it has been a very long day. Started out in the shade this morning, which was great. It's cooler. Took a long lunch, and then finally got back in the shade here this evening. And there are 2 new slabs glued up. One old slab that is now leveled up, and another slab that needs to go through the next parts of the process. Looking forward to the next steps with this, and I think the next one will be to chop it up. Probably going to see if I can turn this into an end grain piece. We're going to find out if the miter saw is actually square. Remind me to check that before I start cutting. Be a really good idea.